doing it, guys.
Okay, all right.
Do you take callers on the show?
Yes, we do. We
do?
are. Yeah, we are live on Facebook.
Oh, we're live on Facebook.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody on Facebook.
That's Jeremiah Cole. He is the owner of Cole Engineering. We're going to talk about things that we've never really talked about on the show before. I've been looking forward to having Jeremiah on here because he's gone on several of my deals. And
my hair if I knew it was gonna
I told you, I have a face for radio.
yeah, that's awesome.
You look great. He looks great, right, folks?
Face for radio and a voice for mine.
There you go. So we're going to have fun this morning. It's going to take about another minute or so, right, Dan?
Yeah.
We're about a minute, 2 minutes from going live on the radio. We've got Rick Judd. Hey, Rick, thanks for watching. Jane Reel's watching. We're getting hearts already. Yeah. People like us already. So
does that mean like or love?
They love us.
They love us.
Yeah, they love us. So we're going to have fun this morning. Hang in there. Hey, Teresa, how are you doing? I'm going to plug into the studio feed.
2000 Classics for Tomorrow.
Pat Barry here. My longtime friend Dale Maloney and his wife Lynn have written a guide that's a must-have before you die. It's called Build Your Legacy Guide. It's an easy step-by-step instructions to assemble all the important papers, contracts, final arrangements, so much more that your family will need after you're gone. And they've thought of everything so your loved one can carry out your wishes. Go to Build Your Legacy Guide on Facebook or buildyourlegacyguide.com. Get started right away. buildyourlegacyguide.com.
Dillonvale Shopping Center at the corner of Galbraith and Plainfield in the heart of Deer Park. Proud to host the Super 60s Car Show Saturday, May 5th. Registration starts at 10, judging from noon till 4 with tons of trophies, food, music, and classic cars. Rain out date May 12th. Check out the Dillonvale Shopping Center Facebook page for details and your chance to win Reds tickets. The Super 60s Car Show, sponsored in part by these fine Dillonvale Shopping Center stores. Vision Care of Cincinnati, the Apple Tree Cafe, E-Cigarettes, Great Clips, Ace Hardware, IGA, and Little Caesars Pizza. The Super 60s Car Show at Dillonvale Shopping Center, Saturday, May 5th. Don't miss it.
From the Home State Savings Studios, this is 1480 WDJO Cincinnati.
Weather meteorologist Courtney Spamer. We'll see clouds with some breaks of sunshine for today, looking at a high of 71 this afternoon. We'll see clouds around tonight as well, the low dropping down to 55 degrees. Some sunny breaks for tomorrow, especially in the morning, but becoming cloudy in the afternoon with a shower or thunderstorm late. We'll see a high of 78 degrees. Cooler as we get into Monday, partly sunny, and a high of 68 degrees. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Courtney Spamer on 1480 WDJO and now on FM 99.5 and 107.9.
Live from Newport Yacht Club, it's 1480 WDJO Cincinnati.
ABC News Now, I'm Mona Rivera. Hundreds of Hawaiians have been evacuated after the Big Island was hit by the most powerful earthquake in 40 years. This on top of the Kilauea volcano erupting, with molten lava flowing into the streets. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez reports from the scene.
About 1,800 people have been forced to evacuate from neighborhoods here where new fissures have opened up, spewing lava and rock. The major concern here, though, is with the air quality, with dangerous levels of toxic sulfur dioxide gas still hanging in the air, creating what officials call an immediate threat to life. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Pahoa, Hawaii.
President Trump will hold a roundtable on tax reform in Cleveland today. Yesterday, he was touting gun rights at an NRA convention in Dallas. Abortion rights groups are vowing legal action to overturn a new abortion measure signed into law yesterday in Iowa. It bans most abortions after 6 weeks. This is ABC News.
AccuWeather meteorologist Courtney Spamer. We'll see clouds with some breaks of sunshine for today, looking at a high of 71 this afternoon. We'll see clouds around tonight as well, the low dropping down to 55 degrees. Some sunny breaks for tomorrow, especially in the morning, but becoming cloudy in the afternoon with a shower or thunderstorm late. We'll see a high of 78 degrees. Cooler as we get into Monday, partly sunny, and a high of 68 degrees. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Courtney Spamer on 1480 WDJO and now on FM 99.5 and 107.9.
The following is a paid program. Its views and opinions are not necessarily those of this station or its management.
Good morning, and welcome to the Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour starring Gary Rossignol of RE/MAX Preferred Group. To be part of the program, dial 513-563-1480 to get your answers to questions about your home and property. That number again, 513-563-1480. Now, here's Gary.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I really look forward to Saturday mornings because I enjoy bringing interesting thoughts on real estate, music, and life in Greater Cincinnati. Bringing you entertaining guests is my goal each week. And today, I have a gentleman who has an interesting job. He's an engineer by trade, but found a niche in the real estate industry by specializing in residential housing structures. He's the owner of Cole Engineering. His name is none other than Jeremiah Cole.
Hey, Gary.
Hey, you're getting a standing ovation already.
Wow, that's amazing. We've got an awesome studio audience today.
We do. Absolutely. We do every Saturday. And because they like to tune in, they like to have a opportunity to get a $10 gift card to Starbucks. So here's the trivia question. I'm going to give it to you right up front. Jot this number down, 513-563-1480. Call us up and answer this question. In the late 60s, this jazz-infused rock and roll horn band made the scene. They go by BS&T. That's not a sandwich. That's their name. But what is their real long name? BS&T, what is their real long name? Call 513-563-1480 and give me their name, and you will get a $10 gift card to Starbucks. It's just that simple. And stay with us. We got an interesting show this morning. Jeremiah, I've been trying to get you on the show for a couple of months now.
Okay. I'm glad we could finally make it. Yeah.
Thank goodness we're here. So tell us a little bit about Cole Engineering. How long you been in business, and what's your primary purpose?
Yeah, so we started in 2010, and one of the things that I had discovered in my career is that there weren't a lot of it was kind of difficult to find people who were doing quality engineering with respect to residential projects. And I kind of thought about that, and I think I know why. I remember when I was in college, nobody that I was in school with said, hey, when I graduate, I want to go look at cracked foundations. Mm-hmm. Everybody said, hey, I want to do bridges, or I want to do skyscrapers. I want to do the next, I want to be the first to design a mile-high skyscraper or something like that. But nobody said, hey, I want to go look at cracked foundations. And I had discovered, as my career had progressed, that going out and looking at somebody's house that has some type of distress, sagging or cracking or whatever, was actually kind of interesting. There was oftentimes somewhat of a forensic element to it. There had been damage to the house in some fashion that had happened previously, and you're trying to figure out why did this get to be the way it is. And you get to meet new people and get out and travel around a little bit, which is nice in the summer and not so much nice in the winter. And but anyway, so I kind of enjoyed that, and as I kind of went along, I realized that actually a lot of people had a hard time finding a structural engineer to look at problems in their houses. And some of the engineering that was being done didn't seem all that high of quality to me. And so I kind of thought, you know what, this is a niche that I think that I can fit into and do well with. So as one thing led to another, and I found myself starting a company, I thought this is an area that we could pursue, a market sector that we could kind of get into and probably do well in, capture quite a lot of the market share. So I went after it.
And you're doing it very well. I don't know if anyone's told you this, but I network with a lot of realtors. They either bring the buyer into my listings, or I take the buyer into their listings. And you've been out on a number of my projects. And when I mention Cole Engineering, the other agent says, "Oh, they're a great company." They don't have any qualms with that.
Well, that's good to hear.
So you've got a good reputation.
Well, thank you. I've tried to work hard to build that. It's certainly true that a good reputation is not something that you'd want to sacrifice. It's just not worth it to lose that over any price.
Yeah.
So
it takes a long time to build a reputation like that too.
Yeah.
And in the residential engineering part, and when I have a buyer that has a question about structural problems or a seller, and I describe your company, I basically, like you described it, they don't go out and do bridges and high-rise buildings. They concentrate on residential property, because you get the guys who design bridges and large buildings. They come into a little $150,000 house with a catty-wampered foundation problem. Their price and they want to find out what caused it, which is probably what you try and do. What caused that problem, and you need to correct that problem. But they go over the top. I've had them in before, and we could probably tear the house down and rebuild it for the kind of cost that they're designing to fix the problem.
Yeah. Well, we don't do high rises. Probably our maximum height is 4 or 5 stories, but we do some of that other work. Residential investigations is probably 30% of our work. The other 60 to 70% would be industrial and some of the commercial type of work that you're talking about. But the thing that's different maybe with coal engineering is that we do specialize in this, and we do understand the way houses are put together. And there is a difference between the residential building code and the commercial building code. And if you don't understand what those differences and those nuances are, and you try to apply the commercial code to a situation where the residential code is what's appropriate, you wind up with those quote-unquote overkill situations where somebody's trying to impose a commercial solution in a residential application, and it winds up creating a lot of confusion and frustration for everybody involved.
Mm-hmm. Right. So what kind of skills are required to be a structural engineer? I mean, there's lots of types of engineering. I'm sure you went to college and studied. What did you study in college, and you finally decide I want to be an engineer?
Yeah. So my career path was odd. How I got to be a structural engineer, I didn't really know much about engineering when I grew up, but for me, I was always building with Legos, or I was always building with pieces of wood. I was almost always trying to build something, and so that mindset that likes to build things is probably the first prerequisite. Being good at math and science is good, helpful, and that was always pretty common for me. So I got into engineering, and there's a lot of different kinds of engineering, and civil engineering is one of the disciplines. Civil engineering has 5 sub-disciplines, of which structural engineering is one of those. So it really took the length of my college study and the co-op process to discover I wanted to be a structural engineer. So, but I would say this to all you moms and dads that have kids that are playing with Legos, think about engineering for that guy or that girl, because that person that really loves to build things with Legos, that's a universal. When I got to college, everybody I knew who was in engineering loved Legos, and most of them still played with their Lego sets.
There you go. And there's some huge Lego organizations that go on underground syndicates of Legos, I believe. I've heard about that.
Sure.
You probably know about them too.
Smoke-filled rooms and knock at the door and get a password and that kind of thing.
So is there usually a problem with a structure when you're called out on an inspection, or do they don't just call you to do? We were talking off the air. You get your business from the result of a whole house inspection being done. The home inspector says, this is a little bit out of my league. I suggest that you get a structural engineer to come in. At that point, they probably look you up and call you to come in.
Yeah, and a really good analogy that I've heard and I've used, certainly not my own idea, is that a whole house inspector is kind of like a general practice physician, where they know a little bit about a very broad range of things.
Right.
They'll come out, they'll look at the shingles, they'll look at the electrical system, they'll look at the plumbing, they'll look at the HVAC, they'll tell you, does a water heater have, how much longer does it have, and all that kind of thing. And then after they've made their overarching assessment, typically what they will do is they will then refer specialists based on what they're seeing. So if there's an issue with the, let's say there's an issue with the circuit breaker box, and they see some wiring that's a little screwy, they'll say, hey, you need a licensed electrician out here.
Right.
Or if they see cracking in the foundation or something wrong with the roof trusses, they'll say a structural engineer needs to come out and take a look at this. So they're like a general practice physician referring you to the specialist. And so then a structural engineer is one of the specialists. We're specializing in the structural integrity of the house.
Right. That's Jeremiah Cole with Cole Engineering. Their phone number is 859-781-0784. If you have any questions about your foundation or your structure of your home, someone said, you've got a structural problem, you might want to have him come out. We'll talk on the next segment after this break about the cost involved to get him to come out and tell you about that. At this time, I'd also like to express my gratitude to all the troops, the veterans, and the first responders. These are the men and women who selflessly strive to keep our nation and city streets safe and free. So if you're out and about and you see someone in uniform, give them a thank you sign from afar. Pick up their tab, let them know that we love them, we trust them, we thank them for their service. We wouldn't have the freedoms that we have in the United States if it wasn't for them. We do need to go away for our first break. When we come back, we'll kind of walk you through a typical engineering inspection. You're listening to the Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour on WDJO 99.5 FM, 107.9 FM, and 1480 AM.
Cole Engineering Solutions reminds prospective home buyers and sellers that residential structural assessments performed by licensed structural engineers have become a regular part of the home purchasing process. Cole Engineering Solutions helps the process by providing the critical structural assessment and analysis to determine the integrity of a structure, identify structural deficiencies, and design necessary structural repairs which may be required to bring the property into compliance with the building. Call for a consultation, 859-781-0784, or visit ColeEngineering.com.
Two musical icons, one incredible celebration. Boz Scaggs, America. The 4th of July, Rose Music Center at the Heights.
Oh, wow, we've got a bunch of people that are tuning in. Jeremiah, we get a lot of realtors watch the show. So this is going to be, any realtors out there, if you run into an inspector that says you need a structural inspection, this is the guy. These guys really specialize in residential properties. So you want to write his phone number down when I give it out next segment again as well. We have Michelle, we got Don Sheets. You know Don?
I recognize that name.
Don Sheets. Him and his wife are great realtors. Mark Rankin. Hey, Mark, how you doing? Josh Burgess. He's another realtor. Hey, Josh, you got to take his number down. I can give it to you. Frida Allen. You'll be on in a few weeks. Steve Bartholomew. Let's see. Oh, Miles. You're coming on next, Miles. Better get your phone ready. All right. Gene Willens, another realtor. Reed Young, another realtor. We got tons of realtors watching. Wow, how about that? So this is good for you. This is Jeremiah. He's the guy. So I'm going to plug it back into the studio feed. You're going to get the commercials, and we're going to be right back with more good stuff.
When it comes to vehicle service, don't you just want a place that you can trust? Hi, I'm Robert Nolan from John Nolan Auto Service. Whether you need maintenance, engine repairs, or a complete transmission overhaul, bring your vehicle to my team at John Nolan Auto Service. Need tires? This month's special is buy 4 select Goodyear tires and get up to $160 back. So for the best service at the right price and open 7 days a week, call John Nolan Auto Service in Newport, Kentucky at 859-261-8833. We're online at johnnolan.com.
Get on. Let's rock the house.
Thanks for staying with us, folks. I know you won't regret it. I am your host, Gary Rossignol with RE/MAX Preferred Group, better known as Cincinnati's Rock and Roll Realtor. And now the moment we have all been waiting for.
So I'm sailing for tomorrow, my dreams are dying. And my love,
this is the captain of our ship, and I'm bringing you a moment with Miles. Good morning, Miles.
Gary, rock and roll, my friend. Gary, in July, RE/MAX Preferred Group will be celebrating a milestone anniversary of the opening of our first RE/MAX office. We would like to begin the celebration with a trivia quiz each week until the August Dragonfly Balloon Ride, and Rock and Roll Fest, Moment with Miles will ask a trivia question about RE/MAX Preferred Group or other fun facts about our agents and activities. So, this will be week 1. Email your answer or your guess to Gary at GaryRossignol.com, and we will compile all the answers and announce the winner at the party. The question is, in what year did RE/MAX Preferred Group open their first office? Email your answer to Gary at GaryRossignol.com. Again, in what year did RE/MAX Preferred Group open their first office? Email your answer to Gary at GaryRossignol.com. Did I mention there will be a very fun prize for the winner?
Okay.
And that's this morning's Moment with Miles.
Fantastic. That's a way to give away some cheer and some love. I appreciate that, Miles. Thank you very much. All right. So that was Miles Beersford. Him and Chris are the captains of our ship at RE/MAX Preferred Group. And, we've got a 20-year celebration coming up here in a couple of months. That's great. So later on in the show, we're going to have a short visit with Rhea Davidson of the Dragonfly Foundation. You don't want to miss that. We have a lot of regular listeners each week. I'm so happy and grateful for each and every one of you. Keep telling your friends to tune in. Next week, I have a friend with me. He is from Polaris Home Funding Corp. His name is Mr. Bob Pape, and he's a bundle of fun. He's a lot of neat stuff coming up this month. So more with Jeremiah Cole of Cole Engineering, 859-781-0784. For all you realtors on Facebook, jot that number down, 859-781-0784. If you've just had a home inspection done, the inspector says, I got a little question about this foundation, or you don't just do foundations, you probably go up in the attics and do some of the rafter stuff too, right, Jeremiah?
Yeah, we sure do.
Yeah. So shift happens in your business,
That's
in
true.
our business, and things shift. I know a dear friend of mine, Wayne Jones, was an inspector. He's retired now, but
I remember Wayne.
Do you?
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah. We were in an old house, and he loved old houses. In fact, he owned a couple 100-year-old houses. And the buyer says, that floor looks a little bit slanted. And he turned to the buyer, and he just kind of, he had that little dry smile. He says, well, I'd really worry if there wasn't any little leans and little crooked doorways. In an old house like this, shift happens.
Yeah. Well, sometimes people say exactly that. This is all out of whack or whatever. And the response that I've given and I think about is that anything that's 100 years old, 150 years old is going to show signs of age. We see it in people. I mean, let's be real. The older we get, things start to creak. They don't quite work the way they used to work, and you start to feel it. And houses are the same way. Things happen over time. Things begin to sag. Things don't hold up exactly the way they used to, and it's always interesting because people will ask, well, I'm trying to sell my house, and there's this crack here, and there's this crack here, and what should we do about it? And I tell people a lot of times, if you try to fix everything perfect, that's fine, but there's a spectrum of people who are buying houses, and people who are at one end of the spectrum, they need to buy a brand new house. Mm-hmm. Because they're not going to be happy with the slightest imperfection.
Right.
And at the other end of the spectrum are people who would buy literally anything because they either are very, very competent builders who can fix anything, or they're going to rip it down and build something brand new. And then in the middle of the spectrum, you have the average person who looks at a house and says, okay, has it been fixed? Or does it need to be fixed? And if it either has been fixed competently by professionals who know what they're doing, or if it doesn't need to be fixed, I can live with a little bit of cracking or sagging or sloping or whatever, and that's fine. And so you've got the average person, as long as they know that the house is safe for their family, they probably aren't that worried about a little bit of distress in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And so you kind of have to just take into account when you're trying to decide how much do I deal with as I get this house ready to sell, what are you aiming for? Are you trying to make it so that you'll capture 100%, even the people that want a perfect house? Or are you just looking to get it to the point where the typical person is going to be happy with it?
Now, when you do your inspections, Jeremiah, you go out, the home inspector says, we got some concerns here with this foundation, or up in the attic with some of the trussing is cattywamper or whatever. Do you go out and just report your findings and verify, yes, we do have a problem, or do you actually offer a solution with a price tag or some drawings, or are there multi-levels to your services to buyers and sellers?
Right. We're able to do both. Our basic service is an assessment. So we go out, we look at whatever the distress is that somebody wants us to look at, and sometimes people say, hey, we don't know if there's any issues. We just want you to go and see if there are any. Mm-hmm. So we can do that. That's a little bit higher level because it's more work to try to find things than it is to look at something that is already known. But whatever the case, we go out, we do an assessment, and we diagnose what is causing this distress, what is causing this crack in the foundation, the sag in the roof, and is this a structural deficiency or not? If it's a structural deficiency, that's something that's going to need to be fixed. If it's not a structural deficiency, then that's something that can just be monitored. And so if it's a structural deficiency, then the next step, which would be kind of an additional phase, would be the design of repairs. Putting together some drawings that you could then give to a contractor, and they could fix it based on that.
Does anybody ever call you, come out and not have a problem? They just wanted to make sure that they didn't?
Yeah.
What percentage does that make up of your business?
Well, that's probably the amount of people that call us up and say, we want you to find if there's any problems, and there's not any, is very low, because usually people only call if they see something that they are relatively concerned about. Now, of the people that see some sort of cracking or sagging, something along those lines, and we go out and we say, well, that's not a structural deficiency, I mean, I would guess that that's probably between 30 and 50% of the calls we make.
Okay.
Or we see something and it's not actually something that needs to be fixed.
Okay. So you report your findings. If a buyer hires you, you're working for the buyer.
Mm-hmm.
The seller hires you, you're working for the seller.
Right.
Okay. Now, home inspectors have certain levels of, I know the inspectors that I like to refer, there's 2 or 3 of them. They are certified by the American Society of Home Inspectors, which in Ohio, we still don't have licensing for home inspectors yet.
Right.
Now, you're a structural engineer, so you have some licensing behind your name, correct?
Right. That's a good point, and there's a couple of things around engineering in general that I think a lot of people don't know. First of all, engineers have moved well beyond just driving trains.
Okay. I didn't even think about that.
Well, my dad always used to say, hey, we sent this guy to school for 5 years and he still can't drive a train. I think we got ripped off. Like, thanks, Dad. I'm glad you're paying attention to what I do. So we've moved beyond just driving trains. And basically an engineer is someone that uses the laws of physics to improve the world. And because there's pretty bad consequences if you violate the laws of physics, every state in the United States has said that in order to sell services in that manner, you have to be licensed. Because if you screw up, people can die, honestly, or you can have massive property damage or whatever. And so that being the case, in order to get licensed, you have to first of all graduate from college, 4-year ABET accredited institution. Secondly, you have to take and pass, you can't just take it, an 8-hour exam. And then you have to work under the direct supervision of a licensed professional engineer for 4 years.
Wow.
Then you have to take
It's like an apprenticeship.
Yeah, exactly. Then you have to take and pass a second 8-hour exam. And then you get a stamp and a number, and then you're allowed to practice engineering publicly and sell your services. A couple other things that people don't always think about with regards to that is that you probably want to ask what kind of insurance your engineer has. Errors and emissions insurance is pretty important. Fact of the matter is that as much as we try to not make mistakes, engineers are people.
It's going to happen.
And we're not ciphers. So having the right insurance so that if there, God forbid, is a problem, you've got that safety net is a pretty important question to ask.
Good. That's Jeremiah Cole. His phone number is 859-781-0784. He has taken 2 8-hour tests and passed. He has all the certifications, the insurance, the errors and omissions. He is a top-notch professional. So all you realtors who are tuning in, watching on Facebook, write his number down, 859-781-0784. He's the guy I would want to have on my inspection if I had a structural problem. So we do need to go away for our second break. When we come back, just don't touch that dial. You're going to be tantalized with my music trivia for the day. And we're going to have talk about some success stories from the engineering inspector. You're listening to the Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour on WDJO 99.5 FM 107.9 and 1480 AM.
Why rent when you can own with no money down? If you're looking to become a first-time homeowner in the Cincinnati or Northern Kentucky areas, or heck, even if you haven't owned a home in the past 3 years and are now looking to buy, you may be eligible to receive up to $15,000 in homeowners assistance towards closing costs, pre-closing expenses, or even your whole down payment.
And if I'm having a good time, he's having a good time, Dan's having a good time, you guys have got to be having a good time as well. So we got tons of people watching. Oh my gosh. Leroy, Kara, another realtor. Kara, take his number down. You're going to need him in the future. JD Hughes, my friend JD. Thanks for watching. Kelly, Shelley, Michelle Sloan.
Yeah.
You know Michelle. She has a top-notch show on Sunday afternoon. I listen to your show. Great job. Thanks for tuning in, Michelle. So I'm going to plug you back into the studio feed. You'll hear the commercials, and we're going to come back with some more fun stuff.
A unique sound inherited. Superb. 100 years of tradition. What, you ask? Only the best-kept secret in motorcycling. Triumph motorcycles. Did you know the new Triumph has over 30 models? We have sport bikes, cruisers, dual-purpose adventure bikes, and the iconic Bonneville that brings back all the classic looks, sound, and British heritage of your dreams. Come in and experience the unique ride and see the quality. Triumph of Cincinnati is offering incredible 0% APR financing, up to $1,500 in Triumph vouchers, and special free accessory packages on select models. Call us at 513-631-2000 for all the details, or stop by and see us. We're at the corner of Ridge and Highland, exit 8, just off I-71. And remember, we'll take anything in trade. We're sure we can find a Triumph motorcycle to fit your budget and lifestyle. Triumph of Cincinnati. 631-2000. Classics for tomorrow.
The perfect way to wrap your workday is with a cruise-in. The best cruise-in on the west side happens every third Tuesday of the month all summer long at the Sailor Park McDonald's on Kibbe Lane at US 50. The first cruise-in is Tuesday, May 15th. Bring that classic car, antique ride, truck, motorcycle, or your soon-to-be classic modern-day car to the Sailor Park McDonald's and be a part of the fun. The cruise-in starts at 5:30, conveniently located just west of Cincinnati on US 50 at Kibbe Lane. Visit the WDJO Car Show calendar for more information. 1480WDJO.com.
AccuWeather meteorologist Courtney Spamer. We'll see clouds with some breaks of sunshine for today, looking at a high of 71 this afternoon. We'll see clouds around tonight as well, the low dropping down to 55 degrees. Some sunny breaks for tomorrow, especially in the morning, but becoming cloudy in the afternoon with a shower or thunderstorm late. We'll see a high of 78 degrees. Cooler as we get into Monday, partly sunny, and a high of 68 degrees. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Courtney Spamer on 1480 WDJO and now on FM 99.5 and 107.9.
Hey, it's time to have some fun with Gary's music trivia for this day, May the 5th. Back in 1967 on this day, the Young Rascals started a 4-week run at number 1 on the U.S. singles chart with this song, Groovin'. Atlantic Records head Jerry Wexler did not want to release the song, but U.S. disc jockey Murray the K heard the track and encouraged Atlantic to release it. I'm so glad they did. What a great hit. And today in 1968, Mary Hopkin won her heat on the ITV talent show Opportunity Knocks. She later signed with the Beatles' own Apple Records, and Paul McCartney produced her UK #1 single, Those Were the Days, which also made a #2 hit in the United States. Beautiful song. Today in 1970, sad day, 4 students at Kent University were killed and 11 wounded by National Guard troops at a campus demonstration protesting the escalation of the Vietnam War. The incident inspired Neil Young to compose this song, Ohio, which became a hit for Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. And on this day in 1973, Led Zeppelin opened their 1973 North American tour, which was billed as the biggest and most profitable rock and roll tour in the history of the United States. The group would gross over $4 million from the dates, flying between gigs in the Starship, which was a Boeing 720 passenger jet, complete with bar, shower room, TV, and video in a 30-foot lounge and a white fur bedroom, of course. Today in 1974, Grand Funk Railroad started a 2-week run at #1 on the U.S. singles chart with their version of the Little Eva hit, The Locomotion. It was only the second time that a cover version had been a #1 as well as the original. And today, in 1991, where is it? Oh, there we go. Today in 1991, Cher scored her first solo #1 single with the Shoop Shoop song from the film Mermaids. The song had been a hit for Betty Everett in 1964 and gave Cher her first #1 since 1965's I Got You Babe. And today in 1997, a little real estate trivia, Courtney Love placed an advert in the Seattle Times selling the house she had shared with Kurt Cobain. The 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom house was on the market for $3 million. The carriage house where Kurt Cobain died had been knocked down during refurbishment. And we do have a birthday today. Born today in 1945, George Wadnidas from the jazz rock American music group Blood, Sweat and Tears. They scored the 1969 U.S. #2 single Spinning Wheel and the 1969 U.S. #12 single You Made Me So Very Happy. They had a U.S. #1 with their second album Blood, Sweat and Tears in 1968. In 1979, he joined the Saturday Night Live band and has since worked with many artists, among them Steely Dan, Aretha Franklin, Diana Ross, James Brown, Paul Simon, Dionne Warwick, Roberta Flack, Donald Fagen, and as well as many other important artists. So happy birthday, George. What a great artist. He played guitar and bass guitar in a lot of groups. Good musician. I hope you enjoyed these fun facts about music history as I did researching it and delivering it to you today. There you go. We do have some trivia winners. Janet Sholey, she gets a $10 gift card to Starbucks. Denise Cruz and Cindy McCrae all guessed BS&T stood for Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Good job, folks. Great job. So, let's see. Oh, find my place here. Here we go. Yeah. I'm called the Rock and Roll Realtor because I play with the greatest classic rock band in Cincinnati, and that is Bluestone Ivory, and you're going to hear us all over Cincinnati this summer. We're going to be at Miami Valley Gaming on, well, we were there already. That's later in this year. We'll be at the Patriot Center on May 19th. We're going to be at the Bellevue, Assumption in Mount Healthy, Liberty Center, Keener Park, Coney Island, Red, White, and Kaboom in Fairfield, Arlington Memorial, Spring Grove, Wetherington, St. John's, Cold Springs, all over town. BluestoneIvory.com is the website. Our entire schedule is posted there, so you can go there and enjoy it. Stay with us. You won't regret it. I have Jeremiah Cole with Cole Engineering. His phone number is 859-781-0784. And what do you like to do for fun?
I'm not that
Play
interested.
Legos?
I do like to play Legos. I've got 7 kids. So
Whoa.
Keeping track of all those guys keeps me pretty busy.
What are their ages?
Well, the oldest is 19, and the youngest is turning 2 in June.
You only look 25.
Well, 25 with some miles.
So are they listening?
I don't actually know if they're listening or not.
Shout out and say
They
hi
might.
to them.
Hey, guys, how's everybody doing? Hopefully you're having a good Saturday morning. I think they were making pancakes when I left.
Okay, there you go.
I've got a bunch of siblings that are listening in as well. So, hey, all my brothers and sisters, thanks for listening. Thanks for your text ideas. We're probably not going to use all of those ideas here. We had some that were pretty interesting.
You got one or two you want to share?
I don't know. I don't know if any of them made the appropriateness cut or not. Somebody brought up something about guessing caller's weight and something else about public executions. I thought, no.
That doesn't fit this show.
It probably doesn't fit any show.
We do need to mention that tomorrow is the Flying Pig Marathon.
Oh, that's why downtown shut down.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that.
That's tomorrow. So for all you folks who are running in the marathon, my daughter's running in it. Steph, good luck. Your mom will be down there. And I think your daughter will be at the finish line to cheer you on. My niece, she'll be running in it as well. So yeah, it's going to be a good day tomorrow.
One of my good clients who I've worked with for a long time, it's been his goal to run a marathon in all 50 states.
Oh, wow.
And he is now down to, I believe, 2 states left. I think he's going to close out this year and accomplish it.
That's a huge bucket list.
It's pretty amazing. Yeah, every time I talk to him, almost he's running a new marathon somewhere.
I can't run that far.
I don't think I could walk that far.
I work out regularly and try and keep healthy, but running, a mile that's pushing it for me.
It's a long way.
Yeah, and they're going to do, I think, 15 or 17 miles tomorrow. But Steph's going to do the part marathon. She's going to do 7 miles tomorrow. So go get them, girl. You can do it. I know you can. So, Jeremiah, couple success stories. I know you never go out on a job and have happy folks because, first of all, what's it cost for you to just go out and do an initial investigation of a home?
Sure. So our typical investigation for the initial assessment, which includes a report, is $435.
All right, that's not much. Well, I mean, considering the alternative of not
that's
knowing
true.
what's...
I think a good way to look at it is that a house is probably the most expensive investment most people would have, and it's kind of cheap insurance, to be honest with you. I mean, you look at what your home insurance is per year, and compared to that, you're right, it's not that significant.
Yeah. Now, I've been in homes where they have repaired the foundation, and they use those steel I-beams that run from the floor up to the floor joists.
Right.
And they tie them off at the floor joist.
Right.
And that holds the wall from caving into the house.
Right.
I've had mixed opinions about that technique, that it's not good to put that kind of stress on floor joists.
Well, yeah, so steel and concrete are definitely stronger materials than wood. And so when you're tying a foundation, which is concrete or block, reinforced with steel into wood and using wood to brace it, you have to be extra careful that the wood doesn't fail. So your intuition's correct. You don't want to overstress the wood, but that is probably the best repair for that, as long as that connection's taken into account.
I had my basement done about 7-8 years ago, I guess. And what they did was Boyman and Myers. I don't know if you know that company or not, but they came out and they actually removed the dirt from the outside. I have a block foundation. Mm-hmm. Removed the dirt from the outside down to the footer. Then they poured a concrete solid wall around it.
Mm-hmm.
attach it with rebar and backfill it in.
Sure, that's a repair that can work. And probably the statement that I would make about any foundation repair is what's more of a question: has an engineer designed this repair? Mm-hmm. And I would want to know, has the engineer put some thought into that? Because as long as that's happened, there's a lot of different directions you can go with repairing foundations. But as long as you have a design professional that's thought through how to make this stable, you're probably going to be fine.
Do you get called on by the companies that do the repairs?
Some do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a few that'll call me up and have us do the designs for them.
Okay. And if Joe homeowner wanted to have a structural design done and then go to a contractor, what kind of cost would be involved in doing a design for a repair?
Yeah, that doesn't have quite as straightforward of an answer, just because there's a lot of variation regarding how complicated repairs are. Some houses are very simple, very straightforward, one or two small details, one wall that has a crack in this 10-foot section. Mm-hmm. And some houses, it's very extensive. So, but the typical price range for the design of repairs is probably somewhere between $200 to maybe $3,000, and probably the average cost is probably less than $1,500 for engineering, not for repair.
Gotcha. All right, that's Cole. That's Jeremiah Cole with Cole Engineering. His phone number is 859-781-0784. We need to go away for our last break. It's been a really interesting morning so far. Coming up next is going to be Rhea Davidson, co-founder of the Dragonfly Foundation. So do not touch that dial. You want to stay tuned for that interview. You're listening to the Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour on WDJO 99.5 FM, 107.9 and 1480 AM.
Don't bother knocking, yeah, the house is rocking. Don't you bother, come on in.
Cole Engineering Solutions reminds prospective home buyers and sellers that residential structural assessments performed by licensed structural engineers have become a regular part of the home purchasing process. Cole Engineering Solutions helps the process by providing the critical structural assessment and analysis to determine the integrity of a structure, identify structural deficiencies, and design necessary structural repairs which may be required to bring the property into compliance with the building. Call for a consultation, 859-781-0784, or visit ColeEngineering.com.
Dillonvale Shopping Center at the corner of Galbraith and Plainfield in the heart of Deer Park, proud to host the Super 60s Car Show Saturday, May 5th. Registration starts at 10, judging from noon till 4 with tons of trophies, food, music, and classic cars. Rain out date May 12th. Check out the Dillonvale Shopping Center Facebook page for details and your chance to win Reds tickets. The Super 60s Car Show, sponsored in part by these fine Dillonvale Shopping Center stores: Vision Care of Cincinnati, the Apple Tree Cafe, E-Cigarettes, Great Clips, Ace Hardware, IGA, and Little Caesars Pizza. The Super 60s Car Show at Dillonvale Shopping.
All right, we got a ton new people watching. We've got Doug Nave, Paul Wessendorf, hey Paul, John Wagner, mortgage lender. Hey John, Andy Furman is watching.
Zinn's Plumbing works on a 2-hour time frame, so you don't waste your time.
Hey Andy, thanks for watching my show. I appreciate that. I'm flattered. So anyhow, thanks for watching, folks, and the feed will be on my Facebook page for however long Facebook keeps it up there. So, I'm going to plug it back into the studio feed. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Customer service are the hallmark of Zinn's Plumbing. It's a local family business proudly serving Greater Cincinnati since 1976. They can probably schedule your appointment today. Give Zinn's Plumbing a call at 681-2501. 681-2501. Zinn's Plumbing.
Take a step back away from the hurried life you live today and relax. Take a stroll through Covered Bridge Antique Mall. For the past 25 years, they've been the go-to shop for treasure and bargain hunters from the tri-state and beyond. Beautiful antiques, jewelry, collectibles, and one-of-a-kind items. Covered Bridge Antique Mall, a truly unique shopping experience. 7508 Hamilton Avenue in the heart of historic Mount Healthy. 513-521-5739.
Why rent when you can own with no money down? If you're looking to become a first-time homeowner in the Cincinnati or Northern Kentucky areas, or heck, even if you haven't owned a home in the past 3 years and are now looking to buy, you may be eligible to receive up to $15,000 in homeowners assistance towards closing costs, pre-closing expenses, or even your whole down payment. That's right, you can own your own home with no money down. Find out if you qualify. Call Gary at 513-777-2402. That's Gary at 513-777-2402.
Get on. Let's rock the house.
Hey, we are rocking and rolling this morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Gary Rossignol, and better known as Cincinnati's Rock and Roll Realtor with RE/MAX Preferred Group. And my guest this morning has been Jeremiah Cole with Cole Engineering. I'll give his number out one more time. That's 859-781-0784. He knows his stuff when it comes to structures, residential home structures. If it's a slight little thing or if it's a huge dilemma, he can take care of that for you and finds the problem and gives you a plan of action to get it fixed. So that's very cool. Next, I have another lady who she doesn't really, here's what she does. She puts smiles on the faces of folks who are faced with some dilemmas. And she does it well, her and her partner, Christine Knightsky. And this is none other than my friend, Rhea Davidson. Hey, Rhea, good morning.
Guys.
Rhea, we got a newbie here. I'm telling him a little bit about the Dragonfly Foundation. He says, I'm anxious to hear what it's all about. So
wonderful.
Tell him all about it because he's going to be a huge fan. I know it.
I hope so. So the Dragonfly Foundation helps pediatric cancer patients who range in age from birth to age 40 and their families find strength, courage, and joy. And we do this by providing ongoing support, relevant materials, and caring, nurturing, and transformative experiences. So, like, we do 3 to 12 patient events a week for our families. We've helped them connect with vendors in the community, whether it's to tow cars or make repairs or to, unfortunately, provide cemetery plots, in the event their kids pass away. And we do gifting to the hospital. We've just donated or are in the process of donating another 25 laptops to Cincinnati children and 3 $5,000 charging stations. We also do a lot of events in the hospital that help families kind of cope with their situation. So that's pretty much what we do. We're a very diverse organization in terms of the support we provide.
And that takes a lot of support, that takes a lot of effort, and it's all volunteer.
Well, we have 6.5 employees, and because there's some things that we do that you have to have just for privacy, people to manage that. But we have about 300 volunteers that support what we do, and we need all of them to help us. And right now we need donations. We've kind of hit a summer slump with everybody going on vacation and different things. So please, if you could donate money, if you could donate gas cards, Kroger cards, those are the things that our families need most right now. And we also need new baby toys, too. So if there are things that people that are new and in their original packaging.
What age group of babies you talking about, Rio?
Birth to 3.
Okay.
So, any kind of like mobiles or bouncy seats, things that can be easily cleaned.
Not Legos yet, right?
Legos are, not quite yet for babies, but we can always use those too.
Okay.
Again, we go birth to age 40, so you name it, we probably could use it. And it's just those things that become so hard to do when you're facing millions of dollars in medical expenses and potential bankruptcy. Going to the movies is a luxury you don't have anymore. And being able to go back and forth from the hospital to take care of the patient but also take care of the kids at home are really important.
Mm-hmm. So there's a couple events coming up here soon on May the 8th. We got Dine with Dragonfly at Rapid Fired Pizza. That sounds like a fun event. That's from 11 a.m. till 8:30 or 8 p.m.
Yeah, go have lunch or dinner there, and make sure you get the flyer off of our website. And we have 3 player spots available at May 21st Golf Classic. So if there's someone who wants to golf, it's at the Heritage Club.
So those are just single spots, right?
Single spots.
Okay.
Yeah. We had some people who had openings in there. And then we also have, we're looking to make a decision on pursuing our Chalk Festival. So if we can get enough sponsors, we'll continue with that. And if people are interested, they can go to our website for more information.
The Chalk Festival, which is going to be combined with the Remax Balloon. Yeah, that's a go.
Yeah,
that's a go,
with
Rhea.
Bluestone Ivory.
Yeah, that's a go.
Yeah, so we really want that to happen. And lots of things. But again, we need donations right now. So if anybody can make $5, $10, $100 donations, whatever, it's always a challenge.
Yeah, and here's how you can do that right now, ladies and gentlemen. Get your smartphones out and just text the word WINGS15, that's WINGS15, to 71777. And that will hook you up with a very secure website where you can donate anywhere from $5 to $15, $50, $500, whatever makes you feel good about what you're doing. And go to dragonfly.org. Beautiful website. I love it. You guys are just spiffing that up. It changes every week just a little bit. But
we keep adding to it. Yeah. And Matt Burning from Uplift, my brand, volunteered all his time to do that for us. He's fantastic.
It's not only informative, but it's fun. It's like playing a video game almost. you can go through it and flip through, and things move around, and you can open more windows, and it's cool.
Yeah, and you can subscribe to everything. Like if you scroll down to the bottom, you can subscribe to the newsletter. If you go to the event calendar, you can subscribe to our events as soon as they're added or updated. Right. You can go to the blog, which is the story section, and also get subscribe to that to get the latest.
All right,
we're
up against the hour, Rhea. Thanks for calling in. If you have a real estate question or just want to know the value of your home, call me. I'm open for business, 513-777-2402. Next week, Bob Pape with Polaris Home Funding Corp. Coming up next, Dane Donovan and the Car Tech Show. And to wrap up our show, this song came to me from an email, actually from your office manager, Debbie Spurlock.
Oh, really?
She said, "That makes me smile." So this is Bluestone Ivory's recorded version of Chicago's hit song, "Make Me Smile."
Children play in the park, they don't know I'm alone in the dark, even though time and time again I see your face smiling inside. I'm so happy that you love me. Life is lovely, even more when you're near.
Thank you for tuning into the Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour, starring yours truly, Gary Rossignol. For all your real estate needs, you can reach me at 513-7...
All right, folks, thanks everyone for tuning in this morning. I had a bunch of fun. I hope you did too. So I'm going to sign off. I'm going to save this to my Facebook page, and if anybody wants it, they can go in and grab it. Talk to you soon.